provides a reference back to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4.
That is correct.
Which imposes the obligation on fathers to bring their children up in the discipline and admonition of Jehovah. What's the discipline of Jehovah?
So, Your Honour, the original language word there, discipline, it indicates a process of teaching, educating, making a disciple.
In the Kingdom Hall itself, there is actually a room dedicated at the back. I was talking about it yesterday, weren't we? And this is globally. This happens in Europe, in UK, and in the US. There's a particular room where kids are taken out and punished during the meetings if they get restless.
Yep.
Which is crazy. So if you think about, well, my story, your story, Fee, and all the other people that are being abused behind closed doors, think about that little kid who thinks that in their so-called close community with their brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, elders, where you think maybe I could get a bit of help because they might kill me here, and then you're being dragged out the back, or you're hearing your best friend being dragged out the back and beaten.
Well, from that reference in Ephesians, your Bible takes us back to Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24.
Proverbs 13:24, yes.
And the exact quote is, "Whoever holds back his rod hates his son." What does that mean?
So, Your Honour, you'll notice there's an asterisk there on the term rod, and you see the footnote, discipline or punishment. So, in the application of this, the term rod is used as a symbol or a metaphor to indicate the authority to give some punishment. For example, in a modern day setting, my father could say to me, I don't go to the movies because I had broken some of the rules of the home.
No one stands up for them. No one stops it. I mean, can you imagine being there now? You would stand up and stop that happening, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. And I had eyes where some Jehovah's Witnesses didn't think I had eyes, and this was before I came out, but I would man the section where you unlock the door. They were so paranoid, the door would be locked and you'd have to look through a camera who's there to unlock it. And so many times, especially this used to be a friend of mine, at the time our kids are like 2 years old, 1 year old, maybe 3, in a suit, and they're expected to sit down and listen to a program we as adults are falling asleep on. And when they start getting a little restless, they take them out back, either to that room, as you say,
Yep.
or my friend would take his kid out and he would hold him by the wrist and hit him so hard that his legs would come up off the ground, and then the kid would come back sitting in a chair stoic. Poor kid.
So it's not about inflicting corporal punishment then?
It absolutely is not about inflicting corporal punishment.
It would have been when first written, wouldn't it?
How people applied it back then at that time, of course, is open to question.
That's abuse, right
That's
there.
abuse.
And public, because it's in a group of adults, a whole group of congregation, it's a closed community, and no one does anything about it. Just think what that does to a psyche.
So, for our understanding, Jehovah has said that children should be raised in a loving environment. Jesus was raised in such an environment. I would argue the case that even back in ancient times, God did not have in mind for children to be beaten up in a bad way.
And when they start getting a little restless, they take them out back, either to that room, as you say,
Yep.
or my friend would take his kid out and he would hold him by the wrist and hit him so hard that his legs would come up off the ground.
Does your church accept corporal punishment of children?
Our church accepts the family arrangement and expects that parents have the responsibility to discipline and raise their children.
That doesn't answer my question. Do you accept corporal punishment?
In our literature, I think you'll see time and time again, we've endeavored to explain that here, discipline is referring to more a mental point of view.
I regret to tell you, you're still not answering my question.
Sorry.
Do you accept corporal punishment?
No.
You don't?
Not personally, no. And not as an organisation. We don't encourage it.
Regarding the abuse, I know, Lisa, we were discussing it too, how even in the UK where you're from, this is not just a local Kingdom Hall thing. It's not just you. All of us have seen that there's a room in the back.
Yep. I want to talk about that room.
Yep.
I think I really want to talk about it. I think we need to bring it out into the open.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of Jehovah's Witness children are abused at home, but if they are, and they're wondering if this is normal, or wondering if they could get help, wonder if they could speak to somebody, well, then in the Kingdom Hall itself, there is actually a room dedicated at the back. I was talking about it yesterday, weren't we? And this is globally. Happens in Europe, in UK, and in the US. There's a particular room where kids are taken out and punished during the meetings if they get restless.